This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV Profit.
Hello and welcome to Power of One. For the past year, the promoters of Lavasa, the 25,000-acre project on the outskirts of Pune, have been locked in a battle with the Environmental Ministry and with activists. Now, these activists claim that Lavasa is full of violations and it needs to be shut down. But its promoters claim that Lavasa has followed all the norms and that actually India needs newer cities and townships as it urbanizes. Finally, the Environment Ministry, which had put a temporary stay on work at Lavasa, has given it the go-ahead. But is it the end of the challenges that Lavasa faces? Joining me to talk about that is Ajit Gulabchand, who's the chairman of Hindustan Construction Company, which are the promoters of Lavasa. Thanks very much indeed, Ajit, for joining us. The first question I wanted to ask you is that because there have been so many stops and starts for Lavasa over the past year that it's becoming very confusing for people to understand what your current status is. Now, this is what I gather, that the Environment Ministry has said that you can go ahead with the project, but only after you fulfill certain conditions. Is that correct?
Yes, correct. But let's go back a little bit so that we get a perspective of what has happened. This project was a hill station project which the Maharashtra government wanted done. Several companies have come forth. We were one of them. Now, based on that, an environment impact assessment was done by the Maharashtra state, appraised and cleared environmentally. It was our contention and has been our reading that the Ministry of Environment and Forest at Delhi we need not seek their permission to do this. This was also evident from there were two other permissions that were going on for the tunnel that we built there, for a transmission tower, that line that we built there, for which MOEF has given the permission. So all this was happening in full glare. Now after that, when they stopped work, we went to court, and after the court issue was kept in abeyance, and we sat with the Ministry of Environment to say that, all right, now how do we proceed further? And the minister then said that we'll have an amicable solution, and based on that we made an application to them to do a post facto clearance of the project. This process took till the 31st of May. It was supposed to happen faster, but it took till 31st of May. Now, when that clearance was recommended by the expert appraisal committee, like in all environment clearances, conditions are put. It is not as if any environment. However, the ministry accepted the recommendation of the expert appraisal committee, but put some of those conditions as preconditions, which was never done in the past. This is the first time we were singled out, in my opinion, discriminated to do this.
I wanted to ask you a little bit more specifically about those conditions, because some of them, as I said, are quite tough. For example, two of the conditions say that you need to spend 5% of your total investment on what is called CSR, which is socially responsible activities, as well as another 5% of your investment on an environment restoration fund. Now, that's quite a lot of money.
Yeah, it is. However, it is to be done during the process of construction. It's not necessarily. Some of it already has been done, because when we envisaged the project, we have ourselves been doing many of these things. At the same time, the question still continues to hang whether the Environment Ministry does have the authority to actually impose such a condition. But that is left behind now.
I'm not sure how you can say it's been left behind, because these are conditions that have been imposed and you agreed to abide by them. Now, just to put some numbers, rough numbers out there, that the total net investment in Lavasa so far at least is about 3,500 crores. Now, if you have to spend about 10% of that as per these conditions, that's 350 crores. Again, I come back to it. It is a fairly large amount of money.
We don't have to set aside. It is to be spent on that. It is not to be set aside. So those are nitty-gritties which are of not much relevance at this time. What is important is that these conditions have been put. So now that this clearance has been given, we proceed with the project.
The other condition which has led to the clearance is that the Maharashtra government should have been seen to have taken credible action against you, and they've gone ahead and done that by filing a criminal charge of violating the Environmental Protection Act. A case has been filed against you. Could that be a problem going forward?
You are calling it criminal. It is a complaint of under the Environment Protection Act, and under section 15 it is to be placed before the complaint has to be given to a magistrate's court to ascertain if there is a violation or not. So this is not a criminal complaint. It is a complaint under the Environment Protection Act section 15. So I think there should be some clarity here. Now that condition has been put on the Maharashtra government. Now Maharashtra government here is acting as an agent of the Ministry of Environment and Forest and not on its own. This is the other clarity that we need to have.
That's strong language you're using, Ajit. You're saying
yes,
that the Maharashtra government is acting as an agent of the Environment Ministry. Are you saying that the Maharashtra government was pressured into filing this criminal charge against you?
It's not a question of pressure. As per the MOF Act, they say Maharashtra government should act, whereas Maharashtra government has independently given us clearance. So there is an issue of Maharashtra government doing it at the behest of somebody and doing out of their own volition. These are two different things. That's all I'm pointing out.
Now the final condition that was imposed is that you needed to give a general assurance that you will ensure that there are no further violations. Now a lot of the anti-Lavasa activists are saying that that's too vague. Surely that needs to be specified, and there must be a monitoring mechanism to ensure that if you do in fact commit any of those violations, there will be action.
You are right. I will abide by the country's law is something that does not need it from anybody in writing. It is given. It is just a reiteration of that. So I don't understand what the objection to that is. In fact, I don't even understand why such a condition should exist. But nevertheless, to say that we will go by the law, because we have constantly maintained that right at the beginning, even when we made the application, that we have not committed a violation, and to prove that we have a court writ petition which the court has admitted that Lavasa has merit in its argument. So leaving it all behind, this is to be settled, therefore we accepted all this. So these issues do not arise at all, and we are making too much out of a possible issue of simply jurisdiction. A large project of this nature, which is got environmental awards and acclamation around the world, which we have done so much work about, should, for the matter of jurisdiction, should not have been held up for so long. I think there's a larger picture involved here. There's a larger issue involved here.
I want to come to the larger issue in just a bit, but I want to just get your position clear. Now, you're saying that you are contesting these conditions, it's unprecedented, but at the same time, I hope that doesn't demonstrate on your part any lack of commitment to actually abide by these conditions.
We are going by those conditions. That's why we have got the clearance and we are going ahead. I'm just pointing out to you some of this, which has a bigger issue on the larger context of the environment clearances in this country in the future, so that it is why I make the point, and to give a clarity on what has happened and to what extent we have even accepted things. That's all.
Okay,